Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. Hope your week was amazing and that you're all geared up for a fun and fantastic weekend ahead. Fall is definitely in full effect. Winter will be here before you know it, so hopefully you're enjoying. Well, today was really nice. I was out and about today. It was, I think, unusually mild today. It was almost 70 degrees here, and I had some things to run around and do. So it was a perfect day to do it and not feel like it's too cold to be out and about. But the rest of the weekend, I don't think is going to be so favorable. So in any event, I hope you have a good one and you take advantage of these mild days when you can to do something fun. Nothing like an unusually warm day in an off season. Am I right? Is it just me? Perhaps. Yeah, so I don't think I have anything particularly to say today. I don't have tea. I just came right in more or less and got right to the table. Anything to say? I don't think so. All right, so let's see. Judgment. Okay, maybe that's why there's nothing to say, because it's already done. There's nothing more to say when the judgment has been called. Decisions have been made, final decisions, perhaps second chances. Mercury retrograde, I don't think we're quite in the effect of it yet. That's one thing that I've been meaning to say, is to kind of figure out. Well, I know it's coming. It may even already be in effect. If it's not, then we're definitely in the pre-shadow phase. So that's something that I haven't really, that kind of snuck up on me, to be quite honest with you. I've been hearing it around about town in the YouTube streets, and I keep forgetting, like, oh shoot, yeah, Mercury retrograde. Yeah, that's right. But I keep forgetting to kind of like dig into it and see where we are, where it is, and all that good stuff. But in any event, and I may be speaking out of turn, but I just feel like even that is indicative of the fact that it's not the type of retrograde that we're used to. It's like something, usually Mercury retrograde is like warning signs, like, oh, it's that time again, you know what I mean? And everybody starts battening down the hatches and all that good stuff. But I don't feel that type of energy. I don't feel incited to get anxious or start to being extra, particular about that transit for some reason. But hold on, maybe tomorrow I'll chit chat about it if it's relevant enough to talk about it already. But judgment card, and you know what, not to keep cutting my own self off, but I think it's because even with this judgment card, there's a different energy in the air, like something has shifted. I feel lighter. I feel it's like a strange, it's like an in-between energy. It's like I feel much lighter than I did, although I feel like I'm also preparing for something that I can't quite see yet. It's weird. It's like I know something's coming, but it's not an anxiety or an eagerness about it per se. It's really a settlement, quite honestly, like a grounding, like, okay, something is changing for sure. What that is even feels drastic, as such as a judgment card, where something completely different is about to take precedence in my life, perhaps in your life, maybe generally we're experiencing some fresh energy that's about to take over the globe, perhaps. But it doesn't incite me to anxiety at all. It's a preparedness, though, a preparation, and definitely a release. I think that's the lightness, like almost like these energies are almost weightless, to be raised up in some sense, ascending, ascension, I almost said transition, which there's that too. They're almost being lifted up out the grave, right? So we're still in that transformative season of Scorpio, where deaths and rebirths are happening every moment, in the most obscure ways, as a matter of fact. It's just light. There's something that feels light right now. And I'm not even sure if it necessarily should, or if that's unique to me, or whatever the case, or maybe you feel the same. But change is definitely in the air, to say the absolute least. Okay, matter of fact, you may already be transformed in ways that you can't quite put your finger on, but like maybe like me, you feel something different within your being. You feel something lighter, you feel more open, more free, less anxious, less worried, less thoughtful, even, not overthinking things, trying to contemplate your next move, or trying to foresee, strategizing for the unforeseeable future type of thing. Like, none of that is happening right now. I'm feeling very, very present. So I wonder if you are too. Well, anyway, Judgment card is here. Ooh, 10 of Cups. I like it. I like that action very much. All right, let's see what else we got here. And then we got the Queen of Cups. Interesting. Who's definitely into the vibrational frequency of her feelings, her emotions. She's tapped into what her emotional intelligence is saying to her. And then here we have this crossover moment, much like the vein that I'm speaking of, where there's transition happening. There's perhaps even transformation, but this is speaking of actual movement, transition, and to the point, a lot of water energy, first off, Scorpio, but also moving from more turbulent, energetic, even mental inflections, i.e. worry, doubt, fear, anxiety, eagerness, nervousness, moving away from that turbulent water into perhaps into more of a peaceful shore. I would say onto, because transitioning through that water flow, and there is a shore just ahead. Definitely that in between space, though, having left some destination and now en route to somewhere else. And with this card, it is a bit unknown. Even the depiction is a bit gray on the other side. They're all colorful, but the other side is kind of like I said, obscure. It's kind of mysterious. You don't really know what's on that other side. You just know you're headed in that direction. God be with you, right? And then the Queen of Cups is doing so with love and compassion. And I would say trust is something that's really blaring out to me right now. Maybe that's the energy here. Maybe that's the peace. And I think yesterday, which I didn't really harp on too much, my Yogi tea bag said something like, trust brings peace, or something to that effect. It was about trust and peace. And maybe that's what it is. It's like almost a surrender happening right now, or at least a submission to the inevitable. It's like, you can't stay here. You got to go somewhere, like this place or some place in space has more or less expired, or you have expired within it, or it's given all it can give at this point, whether that be an actual place or a point of view, a state of mind, a truth or reality that you've been committed to, even an emotional state of being. Like I said, we almost have been conditioned to find stability in some regard, in a strange way, or I should say security, not stability, more so security in those turbulent emotions, such as anxiety and eagerness and nervousness and doubt and fear. Like it almost feels strange to be lighthearted and to just trust that everything is good. And I can kind of speak to that actually personally. I won't say in detail what and why, because that's the releasing that is happening in real time. But there's something that I could have been very eager about today, and I didn't let it have its way with me, not at all. And I still in this moment, that's why it's coming up as a matter of fact as it is now, because it's still in this moment, I'm not allowing it to take precedence in my emotional space. I've released it. I know that it's all good. Everything that I need to be taken care of absolutely will be and already is, as a matter of fact. And that's the trust that I have, that I'm choosing to exchange between myself and the divine, and however universal order now wants to take the lead at this point in time, because there's literally nothing I can actually do about it, so but to release and to trust, that's the operative force that I have control over. And to the point that I was saying, like, we almost feel more contented holding on to the eagerness, because at least it makes us feel, I don't know what we think it makes us feel like, it does feel secure in some regard to, it's like, I don't know, it doesn't really add value to the most favorable outcome of the situation. But as I said, sometimes it just doesn't feel right to just release, like take your hands off the wheel. You almost feel like more in control to at least worry about the thing, even if you can't do nothing about it, to be anxious, to be eager, But actually, I feel more in control, completely taking my hands off the wheel, than doing that in this moment. And maybe that's just generally the energy that is transitioning, through the energetic field for those that are in agreement with it anyway. And the Queen of Cups is one in the highest vibration that can definitely get on that wavelength, no pun intended, and every pun intended, because it's like she trusts herself, and here we got the World card and Temperance, peace and patience. She trusts herself, and she knows that she can even reckon with the emotions that may try to emerge and ground them accordingly, respectively, to say, like, is this something that I really need to be consumed by in this moment? Or is it something that I can more or less, what do you say? Like, I can observe or acknowledge as, what it is and why it is, but release gracefully. Like, is this really adding value to my life right now? No. Is it going to change the circumstance? Not at all. So I'm just going to choose to let it flow through me and filter out into the universal, the universal ocean, and allow what truly is relevant to matter exclusively. That's the Queen of Cups energy. That's the New World Order with the World card here. Like, we not used to that. Generally speaking, there are some faithful few that flow in that frequency all the time, but for the most part, that is not the vibes. We are conditioned to worry, conditioned to care in ways that don't even present themselves to be productive, and that this is the change of order that's happening now. Maybe perhaps there's a projection, or there are projections in, like I said, the sphere. Maybe it's impactful in that great regard, that the powers that would like to make a great impact, or to be a resistance or an obstruction to this flow in some regard, have been doing everything they possibly can to shake the table, if you know what I mean, energetically speaking. And there are, of course, disruptions and eruptions in the social sphere, but in the way that it matters most, especially among those that are committed to a new perspective, even if they don't necessarily know that, they're not even necessarily being able to crystallize it or see that it has crystallized, but the commitment is there. Those are the ones that matter most. Like people like me, people like you, that have the intention to be mindful and trustful of your own spiritual nature, and knowing what cues and signals so-called cause alarm, and how to respond to them accordingly, and if at all, and if it really even is an alarm or just some awakening or alert of sorts. That type of vibration is what I believe, is expanding in the universe in a powerful way. And I don't think it was well calculated by those that have an invested interest otherwise. And that probably is what is kind of holding it down, keeping things a bit more stable and settled than they probably would be. Extremely chaotic and neurotic and all those negative vibrations that we definitely see the evidence of, and things that are happening, but that is not all consuming the reality of the planet and the globe as it is. Even though we see the projection, that's not the reality for everyone. I'm evidence of that. And if you feel me at all, you're evidence of that. So we got to know that there are more of us on the planet right now. Maybe not more of us than that, of which I'm speaking of, the adverse energy, but enough of us to matter in a way that would make a difference, if you feel me on that. That would hold that vibration, that what do we call it when we say to hold that Judgment card again. Yeah, to hold that space, but it's not, I don't really mean space, but it kind of is, like just to kind of hold space for the planet to settle. It's almost like I'm getting I don't know why I'm seeing that, because that doesn't even really make sense with what I'm saying, but like Samson holding the pillars up. Now, obviously he knocks them down, but he was, if he could hold them up, just that one man amongst that large structure, that's the difference that I'm feeling. Like it may seem like few, with the idea to be liberated and be free and be in trust with self and with the universe, and surrender ultimately in a word. It may seem like a small, a big, something small to, not small to a giant, actually the opposite of that. It may seem like a giant of a task to something, to a small being. But I really do believe that, as I'm saying it now, that perhaps is what's making a difference, or at least making enough of a difference that, hell, if the whole world is on fire for whatever reason, you cool, calm, and collected, and maybe that's enough, and maybe that's what it actually will be or is in this moment, with that world card popping out 2 times, that you may see some things that don't reflect what your experience truly is, and maybe there's a grounding that gets to take place now, i.e., as I was talking about Mercury retrograde, where typically it's like frantic or at least extremely alert. Maybe that's not the vibe right now in any regard, to be anything but trusting and in the flow, no matter what's seen, no matter what the planets are doing, no matter what the vibe society seems to be on, no matter what the news is projecting, no matter what your neighbors is doing, no matter what your family is talking about. Like, it could be chaos at every turn, but your world, see how she's just looking into her cup and everything is flowing freely where she is. Perhaps that's all that is in this moment. And here's the Temperance card again, and here's that transformation with I saw it with the Hangman card. Yeah, it's like, just hang tight, literally, while these changes are taking place. It's like you're already poised for them. They're already happening, as I've said. Like, I even feel different. It's already happening for you with the Temperance card. It's really not much that needs to be done. World card again for the 3rd time. What the hell? World card. Clearly some big, yeah, that's what it's saying. And I'm missing the point. That some big cycle, you've completed something big. That's why there's all this peace. And it's like, hang tight, because whatever it is that you have positioned yourself to be in alliance with, i.e. within your own self, perhaps your supreme self with this Temperance card, is working for you. Is doing what it needs to do. Like, you did the hardest work that needed to be done, and it's like all you can do is let the universe do the rest at this point. Literally just hang tight. stay in prayer, stay in meditation, keep your mind positive and pure, your thoughts pure, your energy high. Stay in places and spaces that support that vitality. Yeah, stay away from energy such as this with the Seven of Swords that want to disrupt your peace, that see you, chilling and want to see how they can cause a disturbance in some way. And this is that power surge that's coming through. It's like what I'm hearing, it's like the calm before the storm, but it's not, it may be a storm in some regards that is, astounding by all accounts. But the storm within you is something that's going to be like a power surge. Like literally, what do they say? Like that storm surge, with tornadoes and stuff. But it's happening energetically within you. So everything for me, as I said, is feeling very peaceful right now. But something's coming because you've cleared something out. With this world card, you've closed out perhaps a karmic cycle, closed out something, you put an end to something, and now it's like this surge is coming, and it's intense, and maybe that's why it's necessary to feel at peace right now, to really be grounded in what's true to you and what makes sense to you, to feel your emotions, like be one with that current in this present moment, so that you know exactly what belongs to you. Yeah, this is community energy, right? What belongs to you, rightfully so, and what may need to be disseminated otherwise, as everybody else might be frantic intimately or on a magnified scale. Stay, and you may, that's what it is, because it's like I was saying, you almost feel like, how am I so at peace right now? Why am I chilling? Should I be frantic? Should I be worried? Because we're used to that, we're accustomed to that, but it's like, no, you shouldn't. You good. This is a balanced situation that's happening. Everything that you need is already coming to you and being done for you. The universe is absolutely in reciprocity with those that are on a righteous path at this point in time, and hell, reciprocity with everybody, quite honestly. No matter what you've been given, you're going to get it back. So it would be better for you to just stay in that peaceful state of being and keep expecting things to be well, as they already are. Hell yeah, I'm with that 100%. Bam. It's like the universe is like, me too. Divine clarity is on the horizon. Truth, clear vision, understanding. What else can we say about the Ace of Swords? A pure perspective. So it's like right now you may be feeling the energy, like I said, that lightness, that freeness, but it's like soon perhaps you may even be seeing clearly as to why you are at such peace. Like, oh, like this is why, because all this was fitting to be happening, and this is energy right here. The freaking world card. But I love how I just moved this, because this doesn't even make sense for somebody that's in this energy here. This is somebody else's vitality that is not privy to this. Somebody that's secure in how they feel, trusting themselves and trusting the universe, that has it. This is like doubling down on intuitive strength, I would say. With the Ace of Swords and the Queen of Cups, this is somebody that's extremely intuitive and like the psychic intelligence is on another level right now. Maybe that's the upgrade that's coming in. If it's not already, maybe perhaps, especially with the Ace of Swords. With the Ace of, didn't we see the Ace of Wands? I think so. Am I making it up? But with the Ace of Swords, it's like insight is about to get even sharper than it already is. Perhaps tangible receipts to support what you've already been feeling, perhaps seeing in the foresight. Remember, I was saying like being very present right now. Not necessarily overthinking it, just really being in the heart space right now, feeling your way through whatever these transitions or transits or transformations, whatever it is that's happening, whatever you're closing out and stepping into, you're feeling it through your heart space, not trying to overthink it and, run the risk of even outsmarting yourself within this process. Letting the heavy lifting in the mind be done from a supreme source that's working through you, and the intel that's filtering through you by way of your grounded emotional state. This is a conversation right here from the divine straight to you, but through more of your what do we call it? Like I feel this real strong that like your psychic waters are pure. That's what I'm feeling right now. And we've been doing a lot of that purification through this season, and it may still be happening, but the pure it's pure enough now that some truths, perhaps some revelations, are going to be able to pierce through that insight as intel, but something that you can actually like hang your hat on, not just an ideal, something that makes sense when it's coming from the Ace of Swords energy. And I'm feeling like it's bringing closure to whatever past experience you may be leaving behind that may have put you in a Nine of Wands energy, where you've incurred quite a bit, perhaps even by your own creation, as it is with the Nine of Wands, actions that you've taken just to kind of keep your head above water, to stay on the battlefield. You fought long and hard. This is now you leaving behind that state of being. She's looking back at that energy, not feeling like we have to feel bound and bruised anymore on account of what we experienced, like not even realizing that, oh shoot, like I'm healed, or at least I've done a great bit of healing, that I'm not leaning on my staff anymore. I'm not feeling, with this is like mental and energetic imbalance to some degree, where you may have been feeling stuck on circumstances that occurred to you, and having that perspective of being like a victim or someone that has been victimized, or just definitely one that has incurred a great deal of unfavorable circumstances, whether it be by their own hand or not. The perspective of this position is changing a great deal. As I said, purifying those waters, knowing where accountability gets to be taken into consideration, and where responsibility gets to be taken, and where some things just don't even matter anymore, that you could just release. If you can at this point see it as a lesson, then what value does it really have in your mind space at this point? What does it really serve you to keep rehashing memories and unfavorable circumstances, even if it was for the purposes of perhaps understanding them, with that intention, or figuring something out as to why a certain thing, this is that crutch that I was talking about, of those lower vibrational energies that we almost feel hold us up, that keep us human, that keep us feeling secure, like we're engaged in the control of our life experience, when he's not anymore holding on to his perspective in this state than he is to completely let go in this world card and realize, like, whatever that was, and now I can only take forward with me the thing that is going to give me truth and clarity about my forward movement, and that's going to nourish me holistically and purely, thinking about water energy, that's going to put me in a position to manifest things that are favorable at this point from this water perspective, which we know, which I say is the origins of all things. If you have a current of resentment and regret and shame and guilt or rejection, or just feeling some type of way towards even yourself about the past, it's pretty hard to manifest anything new, let alone a fortunate future from this point of view. You know, it gets to be purified. You get to turn it around. You get to release whatever those past cycles were that put you in the position, even the part of you that put you in that position, and recognize that this is a new day. That's done. You've completed that. No need to take the burdens, the hurt and the pain with you, because whatever of it that was incurred was for the purposes of bringing you right to where you are now. And now what? You've completed it, and it's time to move forward. That Six of Swords card, where there is a crossing over moment. And remember, particularly when we're talking about promised land crossovers, if you're familiar with the text, everything and everyone ain't going. So that's including what you got going on in you from the inside. Wow. From the inside out. Wow. Wow. This is a lot of, and the Hierophant here. This is someone that's knowing how, like, the intuition is sharp, man. This is receiving it and knowing how to be decisive, receiving it through the spiritual channels, right? Recognizing it for what it is clearly, and then knowing how to communicate it or be decisive about what it's what it's calling you to, because it's not really action so much as really more so decision about, from a mental aptitude, you know, from an intellectual space as to what, like knowing how to process it. That's what it is. Like literally that's air energy, knowing how to process the intel that you have. So it's not just in the waters where, you know, this is being filtered out and being objective about, okay, and, you know, being objective in a sense where knowing how to place everything that you're receiving, like, okay, this is for that, that's for this, I need to speak on this, I need to withhold that, maybe for another time, or this communication means this, like someone that can literally put the pieces together as they're falling, you know, like as they're coming through. And it's coming from, it's like, what I love about this is that we got the Queen of Cups, who is very emotionally attached, but then we got the Queen of Swords, who's very detached. So I like more objective to speak about it in this regard, because the attachment is already clear, that there's some emotional, there's some spiritual surrender here already from the origins. But the Queen of Swords is saying that she's not drowned in whatever that current may be. She knows exactly what of it to absorb, as I was saying before, like what of it to absorb and what of it to disseminate or dissect as she needs to. She knows the truth of all the matters that are being presented to her, whether that be in a energetic or spiritual form, or actual, like physically, when it comes to like words and communications, and maybe even perhaps actions, you know. And this is society that I'm feeling right now, particularly organized, you know, the organization of society, the structure, the order. It's like being objective enough to know what of it to absorb, or what of it that's projected perhaps to absorb as true or false, and what is, and perhaps it's true or false, it doesn't even matter. It's just really what's relevant to her. That's what it comes down to. The true and false is what is relevant by way of this Ace of Swords, and that is a very unique and what do you call it, like a very unique and personal truth. You know, what could be true for the masses, as all the energies that I've kind of spoke about, the news, your family, your friends, your neighborhood, your environment, you know, wherever you're going, there could be a projection otherwise as some reason to be in fear or be wary. But what's true for you may be something completely different. Yeah, look at this. 9 of Pentacles. This is amazing. Someone that literally is in her own garden, like not bothering nobody, ain't nobody and nothing bothering her. It doesn't mean that she is apathetic per se, like completely not moved by anything. It just means that she's selective with how she invests her energy, and this is in a physical form. So yes, definitely the spiritual implication with the Nine of Pentacles too, because we know that her treasure was acquired spiritually before it manifested into a natural or physical form, a material form, which is even more reason for her to guard it, or to not guard, it's more to honor her boundaries. That's what it is with the Nine of Pentacles. It's the honor, even with the swords here, honor her emotional boundaries and her mental boundaries, to not allow anything to influence or interfere or impose upon her. Yeah, look at that. Wow, the Page of the Ace of Pentacles. Anything less than supreme, because she is in a supreme posture. That's what she is. Don't let the Nine of Pentacles fool you. That's the supreme being right there. She's not the queen. She's not any of the other majors, per se. She's not the empress. She's not the high priestess per se. But with this coin here, that's exactly the point. It's like her posture, her not her posture, but her what do you call it, like her appearance. That's what it is. Her appearance is unassuming, or is it unsuspecting? Unassuming, I think it is, where you might regard her as something less than what she truly is, just based on perhaps how she dresses or where she lives or her demeanor. Maybe she's quiet. Maybe she's always by herself. Maybe she don't have no man. This is a single lady. That maybe she's not one that follow the trends or always with an entourage, or maybe she don't go out much. Like all these things. Maybe she don't post much if we're talking about social media. But it's like, don't sleep, because here's that one pentacle she's missing of the 10, and it's of a divine source. That's what she's tapped in for. So it's like, if it's not coming in this quality of expression, whether it be an offer, an opportunity, an engagement, a message, an idea, whatever. Like, this is an offer here, an opportunity. If it's not coming in a form such as this of a supreme nature, then she's not with it. Ace of Swords here. That's the only truth that look at this Sun card. It has to be given those vibes, and that's on every level. Otherwise, she's unbothered by it, and she's not incited to jump in on what society is pitching or practicing per se, especially with the Hierophant card. She's not jumping in on that action because she's already, her vibration has already been tried, tested, and true. Ace of Swords, tried by the fire to some degree. There's no evidence here for it, but that's what I hear. So it's like, it wouldn't even make sense to be compelled to go against the grain of what she's already known. She has receipts to be true for her. Like I was saying, like, it don't make sense to be anxious and eager at this point. You already got the evidence that everything is working for your good. It always has, it always will, and that's what has been true up until now is what remains the same. I just wanted to see what that. Yeah, that's another offer with the page. And okay, so she's got hella offers that may want to pierce that, may want to cross that threshold. But again, even with the Knight of Pentacles, it better be a hell of a story behind that knight as to, the magnitude of the gift he's offering for someone such as her to entertain it. Right here. Very objective in the offers that are coming. Very intentional about what information gets to become truth for her. What practice, be it like, this is to say, like something being conventionalized as like a societal order per se, like say worst case scenario, okay, right? Something happens and it's like everybody's going into panic as to what the response needs to be. The energy of the Nine of Pentacles and the strength of these cards here is someone that's going to take into account the information that's being projected, receipts, sifted through her own intellect, through her own intuition, and then make an objective decision accordingly in response or reaction to whatever it is. Like say if we got to go into lockdown again by some, strange chance, which God, I'm definitely not calling into fruition, but it won't be an immediate call, like, yeah, justice here. It won't balance, harmony within self first and foremost. It won't be an immediate response out of fear or out of despair, or it's another word that I'm looking for, like a frantic response. It won't be that, even if the rest of the world is doing that. It would never be that for her in this vibration, or for you, or for whomever. And of course, I feel like this goes without saying for anybody that watches my channel, but of course it does. You don't even have to be feminine. This is being able to receive, yet again, this Ace of Pentacles, because something big is happening, folks. Big energy out here. And I'm almost sure, I don't know why I keep wanting to say that Ace of Wands definitely, I feel like it peaked out maybe at the bottom of the deck, unless I'm just completely making that up. But then again, we know that I'm really not, because if I keep saying it, then even that's, yeah, it did. I know it did. Because I remember saying something about the power surge, like a surge of, a storm surge. That's what I said. And perhaps it may come in a form of something that almost looks frantic, or looks like something sudden, or I just heard cringeworthy, or like something that you would almost want to, that would induce anxiety in different circumstances. Like consider a tower moment per se. Not that I'm calling that in either, but consider a tower moment, but knowing that not all towers are necessarily a detriment. It could just be something surprising and shocking and new to you that just completely changes the course of your life. Like you were chilling here in your peace and in your solitude, just kind of, business as usual, light, feeling light, airy, and free. And then all of a sudden something comes in, perhaps by way of something as such, the Ace of Wands, that just sends your life experience on some new exciting trajectory, that you were just you didn't even see coming, at least not in this moment in time. Like I said, we're all in expectation for something, but we really don't know how that package is going to show up in the Ace of Pentacles. We know it's big, but many of us don't know. We just know it's coming. Three of Wands here. Something has to come, because this transition, just transformative current that we're in is calling for it. When we're putting an end to a certain cycle or a certain experience, i.e. the World card coming out a couple times now, and we're in Scorpio season, the only natural transition, Judgment card, is to have a death, a rebirth follow a death. To have the other side of that change materialize in some way, shape, or form. Like I said, that Six of Swords, you can't stay here. Something's got to move forward. Something's got to move on. You must move on in some way, shape, or form. There's transition that's happening. I'm not seeing anything negative about it personally. Like the energy that I'm feeling, even to start this reading, before I even started pulling cards. Yes, like even with the energies that would want to be still holding on to this dream of, like I said, with the Seven of Swords, being some obstruction or distraction. It's over. It's over for that. Like, they couldn't stop it if they tried. Not only is the transition happening regardless, but any opposition or obstinance that would cause a blockage otherwise is DOA at this point. Before they even get off the gate, to try to be an obstruction, to try to be a distraction, to win at all costs, they already lost, is the energy right here. The adverse of anyone that's in a trusting vibration now that doesn't need to force anything. Even with this Two of Swords, like I've been seeing this lately as indifference, knowing when, even with the Queen of Swords energy, to be still and to wait and just guard your peace ultimately. Not to be anxious for anything. Sometimes we look at this as like a block or indecision or crossroads, and perhaps it certainly is a crossroad, but it's not anxiety induced because she's sitting still. Maybe she can't see, like I've been saying, like what's coming or where the boat is headed. But there's a certain trust and peace here that as long as I'm willing to protect myself and my space, the rest is being done for me. This almost is a surrender to some degree, except it's just maintaining an accountability for doing what you can do, which is, like I've said, protecting your mind, protecting your spirit, even against the imposition as such an energy as this. Yeah, waiting for that divine alignment. What's next? How to move forward? How to respond? Listening. When they say sometimes when one sense is down, it enhances the other senses. Maybe she can't see, but her intel, that inner ear, if not actually her physical ear, is turned up, so she can hear even much better than she may be able to see. And that is what is keeping her in the perfect peace that she's in at this time, to just allow this change to happen in the spirit that the divine has ordained. Ace of Swords, meaning that it's truth no matter what. It's not something you can get around because ain't nobody going to avert the truth. It's necessary, is what I'm hearing with the Ace of Swords. Let's see, what's that? Here's the community card again. That maybe perhaps that everybody is having their own experience of this, and it's fair. Look, but we got the Seven of Swords again, because everyone's having their own experiences, but not everybody's choosing to surrender to it. This is someone that ain't surrendering at all. Not everybody's choosing the path of least resistance. That's what it is. Some are still choosing to fight a losing battle against themselves ultimately, because you ain't no match for the divine. I don't care how many swords you have. The Ace of Swords is always going to be undefeated, because you can't hide or overpower or defeat the truth of even who you are, let alone the universal order of all things. You can't stop what is necessary at this point, what's inevitable. And so the death angel keeps marching on, and not necessarily death in the most detrimental sense or even physical sense, as it could be sensationalized to be. It could be that people are actually fighting their fate to some degree, or the things that they're doing to position themselves to fight fate are actually putting them in a more detrimental position personally, and bringing maybe more intense endings than what may be experienced otherwise. There's that other side of the game. But this is the balance here with the Six of Pentacles, where, equal give and take. This is gifting, reciprocity, where whatever it is that you're willing, or whatever you have been willing to offer at this point in time, is only coming back to you fairly, balanced, justified, harmonious. And we did have the Justice card that peeked out as well. But that Justice card, the official Justice card, is like more, I would say, I'm hearing celestial, but it's more like from a universal perspective, and from society, like on whole, something more holistic. This is more intimate. literally being in a position to receive whatever this exchange is, rightfully so, and without feeling that you necessarily have to be in fear for the disruption of that channel. This is seamless reciprocity here of a material form at that. So energetically, if it's like a regeneration of time or money or not recuperation, but a restoration of time, money, energy, what things that are very tangible and necessary to your human existence, there's that as well that's getting to happen in addition to that occurring in the spirit. Sort of like the Eight of Pentacles, where it has already occurred in the spiritual essence and in the emotional space. You've filtered out the energies that would be perhaps even the thoughts about yourself and your worthiness to receive on this level, to even raise your expectations is what I hear right now, beyond that menial, like even looking at death in a certain type of way, where transformation is so much more broad and expansive than that, and forwarding to a great degree, to be elevating your mental capacity to perceive a new truth about yourself, about your circumstances, and amidst the projections and even the past experiences, that something new and fresh is happening here. The world card has spun in a new orbit, perhaps. And people that are still looking to try to keep things, try to do things in a way that of which they just don't know no better, or can't intellectualize a new way, it's just sucks for them. Quite honestly, like, I don't even know what to say. Yeah, because people are moving on in victory and success, and those that think that they got it by the old methods of which are clear here are not forwarding, and that even have been clear in real time. At this time, there's been evidence enough that if you still choose to see there being a glimmer of hope for doing things in a diabolical nature, meaning to the detriment of other people, as a distraction, as a disturbance, where others may be some type of casualty of your actions and your ambitions, then you've already lost, because the world has spun out of that orbit. It's transitioning more into something more pure, honorable. Integrity is the key at this point in time. So like I said, you can't move against the world. And this is the stability that those that are intentional about going with that flow are moving into, without a doubt. With all the support. Oh, and there it is again. I love it. If it wasn't there before, it's there now. So there we go. Into this new power surge and opportunity, inspiration to take what they've gained on the journey at this point in time and now go yet even further. To put, like I said, that power surge, it almost intensifies the impact of the storm that is you, in this sense, and not in a bad way. As I've said, we could see it that way, as whatever the circumstance may be that could even perhaps present this opportunity to move forward may appear. It actually is something that is pushing you forward. It's like, and this is a terrible analogy that I really shouldn't use when I'm using, but it's almost like a storm comes through and like obliterates your house, right? That's terrible. You know what I mean? Or let's say your car. Let's say car, okay? I'm saying house because this is obviously, the Four of Wands is like a house card. And it's also establishment. So let's just say, for the most part, it's your car. So you get a storm, a hurricane that surges through, and your car is like done. But you had insurance on it, it was protected. And so therefore, yeah, you might have lost the car, but now you get to upgrade to something even better. Maybe perhaps something that you actually wanted. And it's a bit of an inconvenience because maybe you had to, maybe you on foot for a second, or Uber or whatever, or you got to hitch a ride or whatever the case may be. But in the end, in the short term of it all, you're going to get something that actually suits you that much more because it's what you really want. So I hope I'm not calling in no energies, including myself. Like, yeah, shit, the tower. Yeah, exactly. So you heard what I said. I ain't gonna stay there too long. It could feel like something that's like, oh man, right now, like this, like that, like with that, it could feel like that, but ultimately, and it might not also, hell, you might be excited. Like, sometimes if you got the insight, like I said, in this position where it's like, whatever, take life as it comes right now. Not so indifferent to a point, like I said, of apathy. But you may already be in a position, and this is the second time the King of Wands, he was out on the top and then then he tried to come back out. Yeah, but yeah, it's what I was trying to get out, and it's taking me forever to do it, is that you may already be in a position where that whatever is happening, you have the insight, as a matter of fact, especially aligned with the Queen of Cups and the High Priestess, that there just might be something that comes along that shifts your comfort zone to some degree, but already knowing, like almost welcoming it. Like, come on already. I'm waiting for you, because that's the crossover moment, as a matter of fact, like the thing that's going to take you over to that other side. Like, you almost feel like, if I can't get out of this or leave, maybe spirit needs to assist in how I'm released from this thing so that I can move forward into whatever that more favorable experience may be. And here is this, like, literally indifferent, not allowing these sudden energies to cause any particular pain, or like, if anything, that's the block, that's the defense mechanism here, that no matter what shall arise, it's not going to overpower and overcome this person in this objective energy with the Two of Swords. That's like, okay, Tower, okay, got that, and I'm going to wait to see what's the proper objective response to that. Okay, feeling a little uneasy about what my situation is right now, my circumstances. Is fear the operative response here? Is it the productive response? No, not so much. Okay, is there any reason to be at fear? Is there any reason to feel frantic? No. Okay, all right, well, I'm going to release that. Thank you, ego, for your intention to protect me. I appreciate you very much, but at this time, I'm not going to be receiving that emotion. Thank you very much. That's what it is. That's transmutation. Look, that's the gift at its best in the world. Yeah, okay? Because it's like, to allow yourself at this point to be overtaken by anything less, any lower vibration, could actually further delay this inevitable gift that is en route. You know what I mean? Like, this change, this energetic change of energy that's coming in. Now we've seen it in terms of vision and truth and clarity. We've seen it in energy and inspiration and power. We're seeing it in a physical form. I've seen the Page of Cups peek out a time or two, but that's the only thing that we're missing now with the overflow in the spirit. But we already got the Queen of Cups. Who knows that comes from her first and foremost anyway. Like, that's why she's so intentional about keeping her emotional energy tempered, balanced, grounded, so that alchemy, that's the transmutation at its best with the Temperance card, that no matter what surge of a storm may arise even within her, it's like, okay, how can I balance this? What's illusion? What's reality? What can I do about it? What can I not? And what's the best present perspective? And how do I move forward, if at all? Alchemy, magician, whatever resources you have at hand to be able to put them into action. Yeah, look at this. And this better not be, oh, that's the, damn, that's the, wow, what the freak is happening? And of course, like, he would try to peek out, but no. There's that limitation trying to get in the way of what has already shown itself to be true for the Page of Pentacles. Like I said, with the Queen of Cups, she is the Holy Grail. That energy of the Ace of Cups, it flows through her with ease. You know, she's an open vessel for that level of vibration. So it's like, it's a no-brainer that it comes through her, it can come to her, you know, at a moment's intention. Honestly, that's what all the sifting is for, what all the filtering is for, so that is the source of that cup that she is so attentive to, so that she can keep that flow, you know, that source of that energy flow fluid. You know what I mean? So that there is no blockage. It's not bound. It's not held up, stopped up, you know, in some energetic ideas about herself or her surroundings that would keep that flow from being free as it divinely wants to be. So, you know, she's the magnetic force field for that flow in the cups energy. Here is the magnetic force field. Well, he's actually the projector of it, I would say, because it's masculine energy, and it's like to be able to perceive this even before producing it, that you are the embodiment of the Ace of Pentacles, gift of the divine, who is entitled and worthy to receive the gifts of the divine. Nothing is withheld in an energy such as this, especially with the Magician card. That's someone that knows how to take the least of things and make the most of them. So you've already positioned yourself to, you know, to ultimately, in some regard, be a magician in a material form, with literally with physical resources. This is having even more than what is tangible at your fingertips, so being able to acquire more, to produce more. And of course, I'm getting at this devil energy would want to even limit you to feel like you only have material, when in fact, as a derivative of the magician, where there is a material, there's cups, there's sword, and there's the wand. So if you were to be depleted in monetary value or actual material resources in one regard, i.e. like the car, you know, where say if you were to lose something as material such as that does have value, that does make an impact on your physical world, that's not what you're measured by. You weren't measured by the car you drive in the first place, or the money that you have, or the house you live in. None of that really matters in the grand scheme of things when you have the mentality of the magician to take whatever it is that you have at hand and make the most of it, make the best of it. The devil energy would want to try to limit your perspective to feel depleted on account of what you can't see, actualized, what is not tangible, as if that's all to life that there is. You know, like there's not more than what you already have in the first place, that you're not worthy of an unlimited resource of wealth at this point in time. Yeah, and to almost make you feel lustful after the thing energetically. This is like a perverted passion toward material, toward money in some regard, again. And also a diffusion of a king's perspective and a different suit altogether. So it's just, yeah, just be wary of energies that want to creep in times of intense, because this can be intense change, you know, where you are transitioning, and maybe the diffusion of sorts is because it's happening perhaps in a way that you're not, maybe perhaps the King of Pentacles is not, his trigger may not be money, because he's so good with money in the first place that it's like, oh, well, I'll make it back tomorrow, or I can hustle and do this and that. That's his come from. So he doesn't feel all that distant from being able to reproduce in this, or produce, I should say, in this regard. But the limitation could be something that you're maybe feeling less proficient in, which is not the case. Remind you, this is the illusion of such, right? Because the magician has all the elements, including his own brand of magic with the scepter, and it's infinite, it's free-flowing, and it's unlimited. So this limitation is exactly the adverse energy that would want to sneak up in the Five of Swords energy, just to plant some seed of disruption or insecurity, I would say, particularly with the Wands energy, insecurity about what you're capable to do, to make happen, to create, given what you do have. Like, okay, yeah, you got X, Y, and Z, but what can you really do with that type of thing? It's like how, like, say the dollar would depreciate again drastically, the stock market again, today or tomorrow, and it's like, oh, what you have, it's like today's price is not yesterday's price type of thing. Yeah, you might have exactly what you've always had, but the depreciation of it, of sorts, is that you can't even do as much with it. Like, I'm speaking more worldly now. And it's like, yeah, you could submit to that idealism in some regard, or to that, again, from that Hermit, that Hierophant card, that herds mentality, the frantic energy that may feel a certain jolt or storm or crash or whatever the tower could be, and want to go with the masses, and feeling like somehow they've been depreciated in their confidence and their ability to control their own life force. That's the lesser of, say, the King of Wands. But you don't have to adhere to that. I mean, I feel like I'm almost beating it down at this point. Like, that would be the interference of the adverse energy, to make you feel like you have less at hand, less opportunity, less power, less stability, less security in any way, shape, and form. That's way too many. Then you actually do, and there was the King of Wands, because that's who you are, that you can literally create something out of nothing at a moment's notice if need be. You have the courage, the confidence, and the fierceness to do it. Is that two? That's three. I'm not taking that. Let me just get two more and we out. I might get two more, just two more. Two more. So one thing we got down is that perhaps even this weekend, something is fitting to make a big impression or impact on your reality. And what you can believe it to be at this point is something positive, even though this damn, well, it's under the Death card, so that's like the end of fear. That's the end of trauma. That's the end of toxicity. That's, like I said, the High Priestess already having the foresight and insight to see that the end is near, and that it may, but look what's peeking behind here, that it may not necessarily look promising on sight. Here's the Tower card. It may not look promising, but in actuality, it's what's been waited for. It's what we've been looking out for, what you've been spying on. You've had, you've been observing. It's like observing yourself almost. That's what I'm feeling like, observing yourself, engaging this energy from the outside in a whole nother way. Similar to what I was saying, how you could be worried about something, but you're having almost an out-of-body experience, and it's mystical even unto you to some degree as to why you're able to be an observer of your emotions as opposed to being driven by them, which is usually the case. Being objective, being able to stand still and wait for the proper direction, holding fast no matter what the projection may be, to what the dream is, to what the envision of happiness and peace and security and prosperity truly is, like what you've already proclaimed it to be, let alone actually put into action to acquire. It's like anything that may come to even try to denounce or overthrow that reality has to, by universal order, get in alignment with it, especially when you're in a position, as I've been speaking about, to maintain a certain posture of discernment and objectivity. It's like it has to get in alignment, and even if it looks like it's not, it will yield, as the Five of Swords will. It will yield. It has to yield to. It's almost like at this point in time, we have the sword of truth. We are wielding the truth of our reality at this point in time. It literally is within your own projection to maintain the vision as you desire it to be, no matter what. This star card, that's the destiny of us all. That is the truest expression of our healing after all that's been incurred at this point in time. The emotion of it, as I've been speaking, like to feel free, to feel light, that's, as I've said, that's the source of all things, that emotional aspect, that spirit of it. It's because you have a reason to feel that way, because it's already done. This is the new world order of your reality, no matter what anybody else is experiencing. This is what's destined to you because you have aligned yourself to be a vibrational match for it, and you're committed to that determination, simply. So everything has to bend the knee to your reality. Period. And there it is. That is the victory and success right there. That is it right there. Victory, success, recognition, reward. Moving into, again, another transitional card where there's moving from one place to another, being in peace in the mind and energetically. This is an indication of that with the reef energy. Not only are you in a mental state of peace, but your actions are governed in a peaceful way again, that you're not doing anything on impulse or in fear or frantically. Your actions are grounded and guided by the steps ordered on your divine path. No one else. There are many people in the background here, but this is someone that's fixated on their path of purpose, period, exclusively. No peripheral otherwise in this regard. So that's what it is, So I just feel like something is about to really, it's about to really show itself. Your dedication is about to speak for itself in a powerful way. Like I dare not continue to say that it could show up one way or another. All I can say for sure is that however it reveals itself, you are prepared for it. Literally, on your own protection, your own spiritual intel and visual and vision right here on both ends of the spectrum, that no matter what, this is the centric force, truth and clarity. Anything could come from either side and present itself, and the Queen of Cups is going to know if it feels right or not, and the Queen of Swords is going to know if it sounds right or not. And those two energies together know exactly what to receive as valuable and as relevant to their reality as they know what to dismiss in the same regard. And everything is trickling down and filtering down and trickling up, however you want to look at it, to releasing this energy force of fear and anxiety and all those lower vibrations that we've grown accustomed to holding on to, that have become a part of us. That's the energy that we're putting to rest, that we don't have to hang on to that to feel human anymore. We can be light, we can be lifted as it was in that judgment card. We can make a decision to release those energies about ourselves that just don't bring life to us anymore, or definitely don't have precedence in our new lives, So the choice is yours indeed. I wish you all the best, all the joy, all the peace, all the passion, all the prosperity, all the protection, and all the power. And however you receive the best of yourself now and moving forward. But particularly keep your eyes peeled this weekend, because I just feel that something powerful is fitting to happen this weekend. So prepare yourself to receive it in the highest vibration. All right? Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.